And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Signposts Live. Again, doing it on a special day today, as yesterday I had to take care of some things early on in the morning. So this is not the usual time, of course, for Signposts. Signposts will be happening usual schedule next week at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. All right, so here we are on Friday, just at a special time. But I'm happy to be with all of you today. I hope all of you are doing well. We're going to be looking into a lot of different things. It's basically a viewer topics discussion today that we'll be getting into here in a little bit. But of course, there's quite a few announcements that has been shared. Again, there's a lot of great stuff happening in the world of Radiate. Radiate has just been so incredibly successful, and it's only about 4 days old. So we're basically on day number 4 of Radiate being released, and the good news is that it is now approved on Google Play. Okay. So for those of you, a lot of you have been asking me, Brad, when is it coming on Google Play? When is it coming on Google Play? And it's now been approved. So my development team is now just putting up the new release for Radiate up onto Google Play. Usually takes about a day or two to propagate. I think that's 1 to 2 business days. So it should be ready by early next week. I'm assuming probably around Monday or Tuesday. So again, once it pops up on Google Play, because we've gone through all the paperwork, we've gone all through the whole song and dance. So everything there is done. Once that's ready, then again, it'll pop up on Google Play. So you guys will be able to have Radiate on Google Play as well too. More good news is that I'm considering developing a brand new Radiate browser app. Okay. So again, we pretty much have everything for mobile covered. And this is going to be something that people will be able to access through their laptops, through their PCs, through their Macs, through their tablets, through their televisions, right, smart TVs, all of that, being able to develop a Radiate browser app. Okay, so all it is really just a website that you would go on, you would sign up, and you can purchase, again, the premium version through there as well too. We're also working to make it cross-compatible with everybody who has signed up onto Apple Store and Google Play. We're working on that, so hopefully everything there goes well. But this was not an original plan that I had. I did not have an original plan to make a browser app. I just wanted to kind of have everything accessible through a mobile app. And my development team was kind of convincing me of it. So, okay, well, we can do it. So basically, the mobile app itself basically cost me about $10,000. Right? So that's pretty much almost done now. So I'm basically going to need some help through a crowdfunding campaign. So I'm going to be creating a crowdfunding campaign this weekend through GoFundMe. Okay, and that is going to be going towards the Radiate browser app. Okay, and there will be a perk that will be included as well too, because you guys will be able to get a free copy of the premium version once the browser app is ready as well too, for those of you who contribute a certain amount. Okay, so I'll be talking about this a little bit later. I will be doing a video this weekend on the YouTube channel about GoFundMe and having this Radiate app available in browser format. So if this succeeds, you'll have access to Radiate everywhere, wherever there's a digital device, whether it's your phone, whether it's your tablet, whether it's your laptop, whether it's your smart TV, whether it's your desktop computer, whether it's your Mac, anything of that nature, you will have complete and full access to. So anywhere in the world. And we're basically making this for the entire planet. So I think that'll be a really great first step. And like I said, we're just going to continue to build onto Radiate. I think what I'd like to do in the next couple of years is create a Radiate VR experience as well, too, actually having it on VR equipment and being able to use your VR headset to, first of all, clear out all dirty EMF within the VR headset. And then number two, slipping on the headset and actually getting your entire body rejuvenated through a virtual reality environment. Okay, so that's something else I'm looking to create. It'll probably be a couple of years before we get into that, but that's something else I'm gonna do. Is just basically we're taking a torch and we're cleaning up the whole VR stuff, right? So if you guys have VR, whether it's Oculus Quest or anything else of that nature, I would like to create a VR program that is actually very beneficial, that helps to heal you. So that would be Radiate VR, but that again is a couple of years down the road. But anyways, in the meantime, we're working together with the phone environment. We're working together with the computer environment. We're working together with television, laptops, etc., tablets. So again, I'm really looking forward to getting this second aspect of Radiate out to all of you. So it's going to be really, really exciting. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to go ahead and start off with some announcements.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etherx.co.
Okay, and I'm just going to share my screen here first and foremost, as we're going to do more announcements here. So again, with etherx.co, good news is I'm just starting to get the brand new, I would call them the Taurus sleep kits together. Okay, so that will consist of a throw blanket and a standard size pillowcase as well too, which again, you could kind of see it like a miniature Taurus bed kit. It's way more affordable, so I'm going to be making it a lot more affordable for everybody. Because like I said before, trying to get the actual Taurus bed kits made through certain providers is just a really expensive endeavor, and for me to even like try to balance even with that would involve me really raising the price with that, and I really don't want to do that. So instead, I basically just created kind of a smaller version where we're basically just having a throw blanket and a pillowcase, and that's all you need. With that throw blanket, with that pillowcase, again, it's kind of like taking Radiate and you're putting it into a static form, right? So again, the Taurus bed itself is going to be updated. I'm going to be putting a lot more things that is in Radiate that's going to be in Taurus bed kit, okay? Or again, the Taurus bed sleeping kit. So that is going to be coming here very, very soon. Once we start getting production ready, I am talking to a supplier, a very good supplier as well too. They're very, very thorough. They're very detailed, which is really nice. So they're going to be creating the throw blankets. If you guys already have the Sherpa fleece throw blankets, oh, it's so comfortable. I absolutely love it. And they're going to be putting a pillowcase on top of it as well too. So that will be available. That's going to be coming very soon. Hopefully we'll get something rolled out by May. If not, it'll be June. Just depends in regards to how quickly everything can be made. Going down the list, we again have the Etherix card deck bundles. Okay, so again, all of the physical body deck, energy deck, mind deck, all of the physical card decks are available for 30% off. Like I said, you don't need the 20% off for this. This has its own 30% off margin. The same thing goes for the digital. So I got some fluff in me here. Same thing goes with the digital card decks as well too. So they are all 30% off, and you can again bundle them. So that is awesome. We're also getting some updates with the wooden rejuvenation wall arrays. Okay, so they're on the way. They're being shipped to me. I'm hoping it'll be ready here within the next week or two. So once they're there, I'll be letting everybody know. Okay, and again, we have 20% off, so that is good until April 20th. And today is the 19th, so we have one more day of the 20% off. So again, grab that while you can. And again, here is the link directly to the Radiate app store, which is again our next, not a Radiate app store, Radiate app website, which is the next one. Now, when we basically do the brand new Radiate browser app, we have a brand new domain name that's going to be used. So it's not going to be the radiateapp.com. That is kind of like our landing page. But we're actually going to have a brand new domain that will be ready that will be used for the app itself. And it's really, really simple. Once it is ready to go, all you have to do is just log on to the store. So whether you're using your computer, your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your phone, right, you can basically have the desktop option, right? Of course, the mobile version is pretty sleek for the mobile, right? And then, of course, we're going to have the desktop version as well, too. You can also put this on your TV if your TV has a browser, right? Then if it's like a smart TV, you can just log on to the website and you'll be able to just get Radiate right on there, right? It's going to be awesome. So that, again, is the plan. And like I said, I'm going to need your guys' help just to help with and assist with financing. And like I said, you're going to get a perk for helping as well, too. So again, this is the Radiate App Store. I'm going to start putting up some testimonials. I've had some really incredible testimonials from people, right? So we've had incredible testimonials so far. And that's really what Radiate is about. People are asking me in that sense, oh, Brad, what's the organic research? What's the research behind this, right? What's the proof that all of this is working? I said, well, you guys are the proof, right? This is exactly why Radiate comes together free, right? Because you're able to just go in and get the free version and just start using that, because the free version is quite powerful, right? And if you want to upgrade, then you can use the premium version. But just using the free version itself, it's our skeleton, but it's a powerful skeleton, okay? So we're only about 4 days old. That's how old Radiate is right now. It's 4 days old. Okay? So 4 days old, we're doing quite well, right? Just seeing a lot of positive feedback. I've had people in that sense who have told me that their skin is feeling incredible, that their fingernails are feeling incredible as well too. It feels like their whole body is hydrated, and I've had that feeling. I know what that's like. I get that in Radiate Regen all the time, right? Just go down there for like an hour, you're buzzing. You're down there for an hour, your whole skin feels hydrated, and that's part of the turquoise vibration array. There's other rays involved as well too. That's one of the primary ones. It feeds your skin. It takes the fluids of your body and it hydrates your entire body. Takes the fluids of your body and it hydrates your entire organs. Takes the fluids of your body, hydrates your entire glands. Radiate has hydration capability to it, right? That's what's so special about this. This is not something that can be created through conventional science. This, again, is utilizing certain aspects of science, but we're bringing the spiritual into the scientific here, right? So being able to work together with command power, being able to work together with spirit commands, and being able to apply that into the app. Nobody can duplicate that through technical means, right? We have some technical means here. That's kind of the hybrid of this. The other half is working together with spirit commands, okay? So again, we're going to have some testimonials coming up here on radiateapp.com here. I'm going to see if I can work on that today, and maybe have something ready by the weekend. But there's more testimonials coming in. If you guys do have testimonials, then all you have to do is just go to radiateapp.com, click on Submit Review, okay? And just share your testimonial with me. Some people are also putting it on the Telegram group, okay? So we do have a Radiate app Telegram group, if you guys aren't aware of that, okay? And you can just go here, or you can go on the Telegram, and you can add your testimonial, okay? Let's move on to Radiate Regen Centers. Okay, so like I said, our very first Radiate Regen Center is now officially open. If you are in Langley, British Columbia, Canada, and you want to have a free 1 hour session with me and my partner, Brianne, we are taking bookings right now for first-time clients. This is for first-time clients only. You'll get a free 1 hour Radiate Regen immersive session in our downstairs lower suite, where we have Radiate Regen all set up. So like I said, Radiate Regen is the full impactful version of Radiate. What you see on the app is the compact version of Radiate. Still very powerful, but nothing is more powerful than the Radiate Regen technology itself. You can also look into adding Radiate Regen technology to your business. Okay, so you could also fill out a commercial application, okay, commercial license. That's all you're doing, is you're licensing Radiate. We're not creating franchises here, not yet, maybe down the road, but this is just a commercial application for licensing Radiate Regen and for licensing etherics as well too, because you'll get a 60% wholesale discount. So again, if you have your business, if you want to expand your business and add Radiate Regen for that, if you're starting a new business and you want to add Radiate Regen technology, this is where you go. You just go to radiateregen.com, you go to register, you fill out the form, and I review it, and everything looks good. I will get in touch with you. Okay, so that's all the Radiate news for now. And of course, here's my partner Brianne's website, readingswithbrianne.com. So she does tarot reading, she does energy healing, she does feng shui consultation as well too. She's also helping out with the center, because we had a client yesterday, had a really good positive experience with our first paid client. It was wonderful. She's also doing QHHT. For those of you who are in the lower mainland of BC, if you're interested in getting a QHHT session with Brianne, she does that as well too. So again, her website is readingswithbrianne.com. All right. So guys, we're going to go ahead and move forward. My voice is a little bit raspy this morning. So I was talking to my development team just before coming on the air today. So everything's looking very, very positive. Everything's looking great. And I was just putting the intention in yesterday. So okay, Google Play will most definitely go with Radiate. And they did. Poof. I was wondering about that because there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Google Play. Google Play basically needs you to have like 20 different beta testers for that. Fortunately, my team has all that stuff, but it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. And Apple was a little bit picky as well too. Not with us, but I've heard Apple being picky with other people. Everything really went smoothly with Google Play and with Apple Store. We had a little bit of a wait with Google Play, but other than that, we got through it. So everything's nice and kosher now. All right, so how about we get started and moving on to today's broadcast. So again, hello everybody. So again, this is a viewer topics Q&A episode today of the Signposts Live. So I'm going to basically be taking your guys' lead, right? So any particular questions, and again, we are a current events webcast. So anything pertaining to current events that you guys want to discuss today, I have my tarot here. Okay. So I do not bring a journalist in for the Signposts, just so you guys know. Okay. He just comes in for wisdom transmissions and for other means. But Signposts is basically me and the tarot, right? Or me, my intuitive nature, and the tarot. And you guys. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at Turn Up Every Day. Turn Up Every Day here has a question. Hi, Brad. My question is there a politician in Germany that is already in a powerful position that, like Trump or Putin, really cares to liberate their country? Okay, let's take a look at that, because I'm not familiar with the German politics at all. Okay, I'm barely familiar with my own country's politics. Right, I'm barely familiar with American politics. Number one, I just don't have the time for that nonsense. Number two, it really is, like I said, it's the people who are going to make the change. A person who comes along based upon how the people are is going to make all the difference, right? So the people, when they start shifting into a new alignment where they say end corruption, end all of these problems, and all of this nonsense, and all of this mischief, and all of this manipulation, then the right leader is going to come together. Okay, but let's take a look at Germany. Okay, with a particular leader. Is there a leader, a politician in Germany that is already in a powerful position that, like Trump or Putin, really cares to liberate their country? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so basically right off the bat, there is. Okay. Second news, though, is that they may not be running. They may not be interested in running in that sense. Okay, but we got more to the reading, so let's just keep going. Okay, so we have the past, we have the present, we have the near future. Okay, and let's see the advice here. Okay, my feeling is that it's a person who may go turncoat. Okay, now do they have the passion of kind of like a Trump or a Putin or anything of that nature? I can't say. Basically, the feeling I'm getting with Germany, not Russia, with Germany, is that here's the past, okay, and it feels like things had to be kind of a slow and steady process, and it feels like there's going to be a leader who is going to be a turncoat, okay, because this person feels like they may be working with the dark cult, okay, but I feel like they are leaving all of that behind. So maybe this person is just getting in to win the favor of them and all of a sudden turn. Okay, so to me, this feels like something pertaining to, we got these two cards here, something pertaining to, in that sense, maybe a sneak attack or something in that sense that was not foreseen, but a person who in that sense is very diligent, a person in that sense who's very discerning. And like I said, I think that whoever they are, he or she, is basically going to turn over a new leaf. Okay, that's kind of Germany's situation. So I feel like a lot of these people that are in power, so to speak, or we can call that power, a lot of these authorities that have these positions basically have to be part of a dark cult in some way. You just can't basically run here. You can basically run, but I don't think you're really going to get anywhere. As the systems are right now, you basically had to be part of that cult in some particular shape, way, or form. Okay. My feeling is that whoever the leader or upcoming leader may be for Germany, they were once part of a dark cult. Okay. And they are now starting to turn over a new leaf. I can't say if they're doing that willingly. I just feel like they're a very, very stern kind of person, right? But it feels like the actions that they're going to do is going to move into a better direction. Okay. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, is a feeling that someone who's a turncoat that may be, again, interested in running, but they have quite a lot of skeletons in their closet as well too. So the whole situation here about running for politics in Germany is a dirty area, right? And I just don't feel like that person is passionate for their country. I think they're doing it because maybe there's a big payday involved, or maybe because they've had enough, right? So it's not to say that they don't have a determination to them, but I can't say that they'll be like a Trump or a Putin, right? It just doesn't feel that way, not from what I'm getting from the cards. Like I said, it feels like this is something from a person who, again, was part of that old regime and is now starting to turn it over a new leaf. Okay, that's the feeling I'm getting for Germany. Not that that's a bad thing. Like I said, all we're really seeing right now, guys, is transitional government. Because as I said, for us to really see progress, you have to start seeing countries, provinces, states deciding to go independent. That's when we're making progress. If they're not there, they're still in transition. Okay. If it's still going through the old-fashioned, status quo of democracy, okay, it's still just the transitional government that's taking place. Some places may need that more than others. Some countries may need that more than others. Certainly with Canada, that's happening right now. We're still in a transitional government, but there are a couple of provinces in Canada that are looking to actually go independent. Newfoundland, Labrador would be one of them. Quebec would be one of them. And Alberta would be one of them. Okay, so there could be a very large possibility that those provinces may be turning independent. And as this, basically you could say, this shitstorm still continues, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a few states in the United States that are also looking to become independent as well too. Texas and Florida would be two of them that I'd be looking at. Okay, so that's really the whole idea. Some countries will still stick to a transitional government, and it's just transitioning because people are going to realize that we just don't want these politics. We don't want these politicians. So many people think that there's going to be saving grace in the way that politics are run right now, because it's not. Okay, that system has to die. It's not about trying to find a genuine good old boy or good old girl in politics to think that they're going to turn around. This system is too corrupt. Okay, so any particular type of democratic system that is across the planet right now that's being used by a certain country is only meant to happen through transition. It's transitional. It's too dirty. It's too corrupt. It's too spoiled rotten. You can't save it. It's a swamp, guys. You got to drain the swamp. Okay, that's basically what's going to happen. And there needs to be a brand new shift. And that shift is going to come through sovereignty. That shift is going to come through a republic. That shift is going to come through independency. That's the only way out of this. Okay, it is not about finding some good politician and thinking that politician is going to turn everything around. You're deceiving yourself by even thinking that. Okay, how many times, guys, have we been fooled? Year after year after year, decade after decade after decade. Has there really even been in our current era a politician that's actually been reputable? And I'm not talking about Trump. Okay, so let's take Trump out of the picture. Let's take Putin out of the picture, right? Because those are the two that may actually be making headway. Out of the entire planet, is there really? Not really. It's a corrupt system. It's completely festering with corruption, with toxicity, with filth. Okay, And because it's built on filth, it's built on everything that completely contradicts the charters and constitutions of how a country itself was formed. Okay, that's what these politics are doing. And again, like I said, they just replace. They're all infiltrated. Maybe around the times to when it first started, when it was first founded, there was actually some legitimacy there. But all of these particular governments throughout the entire planet, these political arenas from around the entire planet, have been completely seeded with filth and completely seeded with manipulation. They completely ignore their charters. They completely ignore their constitutions. They completely ignore the people. They don't give a damn about you, right? They want to hang you upside down and just empty your pockets. Take every single penny they have in the best way that they can, try and feel like they can make it legal, right? And they're trying to poison you, and they're trying to create bills that are going to, again, create more and more suppression and oppression. So where is this? Where is this beneficial system looking at politics in that way? There isn't one. It needs to die. Okay? And that's really where I would like to see all of you getting much more into that mentality. Let this political system die, because it's no good. It's rotten. It's rotten to the core. It does not respect our Constitution. It does not respect our charters. It does not respect everything that represented how this country itself was formed, right? The founders never intended this. And so whatever is contradicting that, you have to basically oppose that with all of your heart. That is what I would suggest, okay? So it's not about trying to find a good old politician. Like I said, there will be transitions for that. And from what I can see in Germany, it just looks like a person who was once part of these dark elites and basically turning over a new leaf. But that is still going to be transitional, because there's going to be skeletons in the closet pertaining to that person as well, too. And it's still going to be a mess, right? I mean, if you look at Trump as well, too, he has lots of skeletons in his closet, and that's always being thrown out at him, right? Again, same thing with many politicians. They're just not clean people, right? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of baggage that they carry. And that's all part of politics, right? So like I said, the political arena needs to be completely scrubbed, needs to be completely reformed, and something new needs to come about it. And that's where you look into republic nature. That's where you look into sovereignty. That's where you look into independence, right? When your country or your state or your province now starts to institute republic law, that honors a constitution. That's all about constitutional law. That is all about laws of charters. That's what you want, right? You don't want this stuff that represents greedy, corrupt politicians and thinking that they're going to do a better job. You can't. How are you going to manage a swamp, right? It's just a swamp. It's like, there's Pierre Poilievre here in Canada, and he's talking up a storm, but you're not going to be able to fix anything, man. You'll be able to help people cope, but that's about it, right? This swamp needs to go. We need to turn a swamp into a beautiful divine meadow, and that's only going to come through republic, sovereignty, and independence. It's not going to come through the traditional system of politics, of government, because it is a lie, and it does not follow a constitutional or charter law whatsoever, so it needs to be scrubbed off the face of the planet, right? Basically, guys, we're looking at many countries. Many countries are basically just run by the UN, right? Canada is run by the UN. United States is run by the UN. The entire landscape pertaining to the United Nations, basically everything's under Admiral's law, right? And so they're basically all in bed with the United Nations, okay? This is why I say, and the only reason they can do that is because of the bent, crooked laws that are in place right now that are not legitimate. How that's got to go, okay? So a republic is what we want, not a democracy, right? Okay, so thank you very much. Turn up every day for your question, or Benedict, I should say. Okay, here's one from Fiona. Hello, Fiona. Fiona says, hi, Brad. Question, how will biodigital convergence look going forward with regards to the human body? Will nanotechnology treat disease and illness? Radiate treats that, right? Like I said, that is really the technology of the future, guys. It's not just what I'm doing. It's what EE Systems is doing. It's what a lot of other places are doing that are basically working together with the natural energies of the universe. That's what's going to bring the greatest results. Now, Are they going to be able to make certain forms of nanotechnology to go and repair things? Yeah, of course they can. Is that going to be efficient in regards to what I'm talking about? Nowhere near, right? But they're basically going to do, they just work on the physical stuff. They don't understand the energy body. They don't understand the subtle body. But they're going to try and develop nanotechnology. They're going to have all this kind of AI equipment, right? And maybe certain like automatic surgical beds and all that stuff. It's like what I've talked about, right? A lot of these things are going to come into fruition because these scientists are only seeing the physical. They don't understand the energetic. They don't understand the subtle. They don't understand the spiritual nature of ourselves. And that is really what needs to heal, right? So are they going to bring that stuff about? Oh, of course, they're already in the works of making that happen, okay? But let's take a look at your question, Fiona, about how will biodigital convergence look going forward with regards to the human body, okay? So let's take a look at that and see. I know a lot of people will be excited about it because all they really look at is just the physical. They just want to look into the physical body. How's the physical body doing? How about the physical with this and the physical with that, right? And like I said, that's only one small part of the equation. If you're just trying to fix the physical, you really don't understand the body at all. You have to understand what powers the body. You have to understand what energizes the body. You have to understand what animates the body, okay? Nothing physical in the body that you see answers that question, okay? And this is why you need to learn to work with the subtle. You worked with the subtle energies. You are going to see incredible miracles happen, right? Like I said, Radiate has been out for 4 days. I've already gotten quite a few people giving me profound testimonials about what has happened for themselves, with their animals, in their house as well too, with their environment, okay? And that's from a simple app, guys. That's from an app that is free and getting a premium version that costs you $33 and that lasts the rest of your life. Let's see the pharmaceutical industry make something like that. Let's see all these big tech companies, billion-dollar tech companies. Let's see them make something like that. They got billions and almost trillions of dollars. What do I got? I got shoestrings and candy and gum and and duct tape and stuff like that, right? I'm on the shoestring budget here. And I'm making something like this, and it's making people well. And you got these big, gigantic, multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies that aren't doing dick, right? Other than poisoning you and numbing you, right? Let's see them do that. I'd challenge them. I would go to any big guy and say, okay, I want you to go ahead and you try and create something like Radiate's doing. Oh, we got nanotechnology and we got like, please, you guys are a bunch of primitive Neanderthals, right? And that's what I look at. I basically see if you're just using a nanotechnology and you're using all these physical stuff, you have not gone out of the Cro-Magnon stage. You're a Neanderthal just trying to spin a wheel, right? Until you actually understand the way of universal energy, about how it works, you haven't grown up yet. You're still a child, right? And that's basically how it is. You have to work with subtle energy. If you do not work with subtle energy, you do not understand the body. You do not understand life, right? But let's take a look at bioconvergence and see how this goes here. Okay. Yeah, tarot is pretty much just agreeing with me here. Okay. Let me give you a second here just so I get all the cards down. Okay. So again, this is all relying on the physical, right? So like I said, there's going to be some great physical treatments. There's going to be some great physical surgeries, right? There's going to be a lot of physical improvement to the body as well too. There's going to be a lot of companies that are probably going to work with nanotechnology or AI, right? And working together with that, because that's what they think is going to make your body in longevity, is by playing and messing around with AI and playing and messing around with nanotechnology and so forth, right? It's going to make people very happy, right? You're going to have a lot of happy people. So, oh, okay, great. I needed a new kidney, and now they can 3D print a new kidney, and they can put a new kidney in there, and so forth, right? And there's that, right? But I feel innovations are also going to complement. Here's the good news. I feel that innovations are also going to complement natural energy, natural healing as well too. It's not just going to be AI. Okay, you'll have the AI folks, you'll have the nanoprobe, the nanotechnology folks as well too in one corner, and then you'll have the subtle alternative and natural energies that are going to come much more into the limelight. Okay, That's the good news. And this is kind of what I'm seeing here as well too. People are going to be much more introspective, right? They're going to be looking within themselves a lot more. They're suffering a lot from within. Let me add another card here as well too. Okay. But there's going to be some, I wouldn't call it hope, but there's going to be some new innovations, new ideas, new emotional healing that is going to come about that you cannot get from nanotechnology, right? So how will the biodigital convergence look going forward? It's going to increase, okay? That particular group is going to increase, especially over the next 20 years, okay? The next 20 years is all about the digital. The next 20 years is all about lightening ourselves. We're moving much more into a realm of thought, okay? So again, you have nanotechnology, you have AI, but in the other corner, you have spiritual energy, you have spiritual work. You have, again, natural therapeutic services. You have, again, things like Radiate and all of that. That's why I'm basically doing this, guys. I'm attempting to shake things up here. And I think it's just time now, right? And again, I respect all the work that Dr. Sandra Rose Michael has been doing, and the person that's working with her, Jason Shurka. That's incredible work. I'm happy to see so much Torus field, again, working together with Bioscalar, seeing all of that technology coming out, because that's universal technology. That actually requires an adult to build, right? That's adulthood, okay? Working with nanotechnology and all these things. Like I said, on a physical level, it's going to look amazing. On a spiritual level, it looks childish, okay? You basically go up to yogis who are looking at all this nanotechnology. Humans just don't get it, do they? They just don't understand that you don't need all of this sophisticated technology pumping it into your bloodstream and thinking that that's going to repair. They're going the way of the robot. They're going into artificial mechanical means. You don't need to do that. This is not complicated to work together with the body. Just give it the energy it needs, and the body is going to take care of itself. Work with your breath. Work with your breath. Give yourself pranic nourishment. It's exactly as I shared in that previous video about 2 things to basically help to slow the aging process. Number 1, give yourself pranic nourishment. Number 2, work with breath reduction. Just give yourself that. You can live right up to 120 years, 160 years, even 200 years, depending upon you working with conscientious breath and nourishing the energy in your body. Some people say, oh, Brad, what about semen retention, all that stuff? Yeah, that helps too. But really, we're just looking at those 2 particular elements, is your energy body, your prana, and again, working together with the reduction of your breath. You don't need frigging nanotechnology, right? But that's going to come about. People are, again, are very much into the material plane, and they think that everything is material. They don't even believe that they have a spirit. They don't even believe that they have energy in their body. They just think they're meat suits. And we can just start pumping all of this together. And like I said, that is the lowest of the low. That's the lowest hanging fruit. Okay. But you're going to have materialists that are going to propagate that a lot more. So what is that going to look like? Like I said, you're going to have people lining up by thousands with nanotechnology, right? So nanotechnology is going to come together. CRISPR technology. Have you guys heard of CRISPR technology? CRISPR. CRISPR technology, okay? That is something similar. It's also working together with nanoprobes, or nano, I'm thinking of the Borg here, really. Nanotechnology, okay? And that's basically helping to revitalize organs and stuff, and that's great, that's fine. But like I said, if you don't really know the nature of how the body itself functions, you're just going to stick with this materialist path, right? It may help people in a certain physical way, but what's going to help people a lot more is when they educate themselves about how we actually function. How does this body work? How are you guys able to move your hands up like this and back down? How are you guys able to stand and then sit and then lay down? How do you know how to do that? How does that happen? How does that animate through the body? I don't think anybody can answer that, right? Because again, what that requires is getting to know consciousness, is getting to know your awareness, is getting to know everything that animates life, right? That comes through etheric principles, right? And that is like a bad word when it comes to mainstream science, right? If you yell out ether, that's like yelling out Satan in church. to a lot of these mainstream scientists. They don't even want you to say the word ether. Oh no, Brad, it's quantum fluid, or it's this other stuff. It's 0 point, or all that stuff. It's all the same, right? It really just goes back into its primordial nature, representing ether and akash, right? Akasha, akashic, ether, 0 point, the source. Okay, it's all the same because that is the principle to life. And until scientists actually understand that, they'll never understand life. This is why I say they're on the child's path. They're on the Cro-Magnon path. They're on a Neanderthal path because they do not understand the nature about how life works. And it's not about nanoprobes. It's not about nanotechnology. It's not about AI, right? Again, you guys are barely just carving out the stone wheel by doing that. That's not an advanced technology. It's primitive. It's very primitive. It's when people actually start working to harness the nature of the ether, right? Kind of like what I'm doing with etherics, kind of like what I'm doing with Radiate, kind of like what Sandra Rose Michael has done with the EE systems, kind of like what other people are developing through subtle energy, working together with prana, right? Working together with the torus field, working with scalar, working with biomagnetism. Those are the grown-ups. Those are the adults, because that's a lot of how our star family works. Think our star family dicks around with a bunch of nanotechnology? No, you basically have the people that are walking the low paths that are doing that crap, right? But yeah, that's going to expand a lot more. There's going to be a lot more of it because, again, it's part of humanity's growth. So, Fiona, you're right about that. It is something that's going to bring about nanotechnology that will treat disease and illness. Like I said, it's part of our growing path, and it's a stepping stone. Would it be better than what we have right now? Probably. But is it the grown-up path? Not really. It's more of the adolescent or teeny bopper path, right? Before you start moving into adulthood, where the idea of nanotechnology just becomes laughable. It's like, why are you using that primitive crap? Right? Why aren't you working with the natural energy of the universe? Why aren't you working with the subtle fields? Why aren't you working with etheric principles? Because that's what grown-ups work with. That's the difference. Okay? So Fiona, that's what I can share in regards to that from the reading that I got for that. So yeah, between now and the next 20 years, there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of nanotechnology and nano and AI, right? All of that is going to explode. That's going to be a lot more popular. But like I said, people that want to move much more into the natural pathic ways of medicine, that's going to be popular as well too, right? So you're basically kind of looking at two roads here. Whatever road you choose is up to you. It really is. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Carol Ann. Carol Ann says, hi, Brad. Can you pull the cards and see what the future of New York State is? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, and she also adds, it has so much corruption. Guys, the entire planet has a lot of corruption. I know what you're trying to say. I get it. Okay, guys, look at Canada. Look how much corruption is in Canada. Look at Germany. Look at Australia. Look at New Zealand. Look at all of these different countries across the world. Look at China. Okay. Look at Korea, both north and south. Okay. All of the, look at Israel. Look at Iran. Okay. There is corruption everywhere. And the good news is that it's dying. Okay. So yes, you're right. New York State definitely has a lot of corruption, but so does a lot of other places all across the planet. Okay. We will certainly look at New York State, but I don't want you guys to think that just where you are, you have the most corruption, because you don't. Okay. It's all over the planet. It's in many different countries. I've had so many people come to me and say, Brad, you know, Sweden is terrible. Switzerland is terrible. Norway is terrible. Australia is terrible, right? China is terrible, etc. A lot of people, wherever they are saying that, well, no, Carol Ann, our place is way more corrupt than yours. Do we have to play that game, right? We just know that there's a lot of corruption. But again, this is a wonderful thing, though, everybody. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is that we're noticing this now. Because if you rewind, going back a few years, that way it wouldn't be that much of a discussion, right? We're just going back into the early 2000s, for example. That's really not a discussion about, oh my God, way the world is, it's so corrupt. Like, what are you talking about? That would basically be what you'd be hearing if you're going back 15, 20 years or so. Okay. And now, yeah, it's corrupt. Everything's just corrupt. Everything's falling apart. It's terrible. Look what they're doing to us. Look what the government's doing, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's pretty much agreeing with you now. Do you see how much we've changed over that 20-year gap? It's wonderful in a way. It's wonderful that people are now noticing this, because now as more and more people notice this, we now have the amount of people we need to clean everything up. And that is wonderful. Okay. It's exactly why it's great to see all this happening, right? Because now people are no longer in denial. They're no longer burying their heads in the sand. They are now realizing that there's so much corruption on the planet that they can now come together and make a difference about it, because that's what's happening. All right. So let's take a look at New York State, okay, see how New York State is doing. So I'll ask the tarot that. The stage, the future, you could say, the momentum ahead of the United States. Okay, what is ahead for them? To me, it really just feels like there just needs to be more exposures. Right? More exposures to come about. So let's take a look. Okay. Okay. Well, basically, the best way I can put it is that it needs to get worse before it gets better. Okay. So right now, what is the situation, right? But this is kind of looking at New York State right now. This is telling me they're going into the drawing board, that they're basically getting all this crap out into the open so that there can be an enormous change, right? This can be, in that sense, an internal shift. It's basically, in that sense, it's kind of like looking at a person who has a cold, who's coughing out all this stuff. And this is indicating that there is going to be an incredible shift. The light is coming. The light is shining through the darkness. Okay. But like I said, things kind of need to get worse before they get better. There needs to be exposures coming together. There needs to be, again, a great deal of people standing up. They've been doing their homework. They're standing up. They're coming together in droves out on the streets and basically demanding that all of these particular criminal cartels are being dealt with. Okay. So this is representing the past, is that we kind of have an ebb and flow here happening pertaining to the state of New York City. Like I said, I feel like there's also been a lot of bribing going on. I feel like there's a lot of money embezzlement, maybe money laundering, a lot of financial issues that have been going on throughout New York City. I mean, New York City really, from my perspective, has been a toilet for a very long time. Okay. And now we're basically just seeing a lot of the sewage spewing out of the toilet bowl, right? So New York, in that sense, certainly represents one of those states that has had a whole seedbed of corruption. There's, again, a lot of trafficking that goes along in New York City. It's horrible, right? There's a lot of stuff. It's kind of like you're putting the Ukraine and you're putting it there in New York City, right? Or New York State, because there's a vicious, nasty underworld that has been in New York City for a very, very long time, right? And it needs to start spewing sewage. Okay. So what's happening? Seeds are being planted. This, again, guys, is like I've told you over and over again. It's the same thing that's taking place. We need to see how horrible something is for us to make a change to it. Okay. And that's what's happening with New York City. It's spewing out. You're seeing, in that sense, how you basically have criminal gangsters running as leaders, right? You have, again, embezzlements. You have trafficking. You have all kinds of horrible things that are going on, right? Near future basically says this needs to get worse before it gets better, right? People are going to start maybe losing their homes. People are going to start losing properties in New York City. I don't like to tell you that, guys, but that's basically what's happening. A lot of this basically needs to spew out. Like I said, this is what happens when an eclipse comes. When an eclipse comes together, it cuts open everything, and that sputum is now just saturating over everything. All that crap needs to go. Now, what is going to happen in the times ahead are people getting more upset. There are revolts. There are going to be rallies. There are going to be protests. There are going to be outrages. New York City is going to saturate with it. Okay. Would not surprise me if you start looking at it within the next month or so, and you start seeing thousands, many thousands of people taking it to the streets, demanding justice. Okay. That is what I'm seeing. Okay, if I'm basically tuning into New York City right now, and that's what I'm going to do, it's beyond the cards right now. Okay, I'm just tuning into New York City right now. Okay, there's going to be a lot of arrests taking place. I don't know if that's going to be made public or what, but there's a lot of takedowns. You're basically looking at an underbelly of criminal activity that is just festering. It's kind of like mold. It's like looking at mold all around this city, right? And you have all of these particular agencies. You have a lot of these different types of tactic groups that are going in and they're just busting criminals left, right, and center. And they're trying to get to their higher ups, right? And I feel like as the time comes within the next month or two, we're going to see people taking to the streets, and everything that the criminal cartels do not want to happen is going to happen. Okay. So what we are seeing here is that we're seeing a complete and total busting, breaking down. Okay. So again, here's the emotional waves that are going to come together. This is telling me a lot of anger, a lot of emotional upset is coming for New York City, for New York State, and the people are going to be victorious. Okay. That's what needs to happen. This is a seedy underbelly of a criminal underworld that is contained inside New York City. It's full of it. It's contaminated. It's like looking at a parasite, right? You just have this crusting of mold and fungus and filth just lining all across the city. And there are, again, a lot of task forces. There are a lot of agencies. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that are busting criminals down. And also with, again, how the people are going to react is going to create a powerful initiative to completely shift the entire alignment of how New York State is. Okay. So right now, like I said, it needs to get worse before it gets better, but it is going to get better. Okay. But right now, people are basically need to see they have invested so much of their life into systems that are corrupt, that basically are all about supporting squashing the little guy, right? And survival of the fittest. And again, when people basically put a lot of their energies into these systems that do not know harmony, there's going to be disharmony that will come about with it. And a lot of these people in that sense have relied upon that. Have been the idea in that sense. I don't have time for anybody else. It's only about me. I got to make a living. I got to do this. I don't care about anybody else. And this is almost like a karmic turnaround right now. It's a karmic redemption that's coming about, right? People can either shift and move into something great, or it can, in that sense, be, a karmic endangerment where they lose everything. Because you really don't know a story behind a person. Right? A lot of people come to me and say, oh, my friend here is losing stuff and all that stuff. So, well, is he welcoming change? Is he opening up to change? Is he turning over a new leaf? Well, no, he's just holding on to stuff. Well, that's exactly why he's going through what he's going through. He's holding on to stuff. He's holding on to everything. He knows he's on a sinking ship, and he wants to try and salvage the ship that's sinking. And that, again, is what's going to put you in a horrible position, because you're just holding on to the material world. You're holding on to everything that you think life is about when it's not, right? And it's great that you care about this person. The best thing you can do is give them love, compassion, and support, and just keep praying for them, that they will come into the light, that they will let go of their material wants and needs and start coming together and say, well, I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to start turning over a new leaf, and I'm going to start moving brand new into a whole brand new area. And Spirit is going to take care of you in that way, right? But if we keep thinking that we have to cling on to all these material things because we've been seeing exactly through programming and conditioning that that's what we need to do, it's a sinking ship, and you are trying to clutch onto the Titanic and say, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink. Please, I need you. I can't live without you. If I do that, I die, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now, okay? People are clinging to the material world. They have made a fortune out of things that are not in harmony with the natural way. And they're afraid to lose everything, and that's why everything is plummeting. They basically, in that sense, did not follow a natural path to helping themselves to grow and to aiding people. Like I said, especially in New York City, it's one of the most angriest cities in the entire world, right? They're all about stepping over the little guy. They're all about that. Not everybody, of course, but a lot of them are, right? And like I said, if you're just clinging to the material plane and thinking that all these things in that sense about your valuables and all that stuff, and that's all you care about, what happens when those valuables now start to crumble apart and you start to lose everything? What's going to happen to you? That's what you're facing right now. Okay. And I can say probably a lot of people on my channel aren't like that. That's great. but there's a lot of people in the world that are. And what we can do is give them our love, give them our support, pray for them, right? Put the light around them and say, help them to turn over a new leaf, help them to move upwards, right? That's what we can do to help them out. All right. Thank you, Caroline, for your question. Okay, let's go down here a little bit more. Okay, Grow P56 says a lot of radioactivity here today. Have felt it very much in my body. Are you using Radiate? Right? Are you working with Radiate? Do you have the Apple? Do you have the iPhone? If not, it's going to be coming out here in the next couple of days on Google Play. Okay, use it, because that is exactly what I have designed through Radiate to completely not only neutralize radiation, but make it harmless and actually beneficial. Okay, this is one of the qualities of Radiate. Radiate works together with bioscalar. Radiate works together with biomagnetism. Radiate works together with EMF and ELF, clearing out the contamination and dirty vibrations that it represents. And through the Fibonacci sequence that it utilizes, it brings it back into harmony, which means you will be able to harmonize every bit of radiation in your body by using Radiate over a span of a couple of days. And I'm just talking about the free version. Okay. Premium version will do even more for you. But that is what I would suggest for a lot of you guys who are sick, right? I'm not saying that Radiate's an almighty healing tool or anything like that, because it's not really healing you. Your body is healing you. It's just giving you all the energy you need so that your body has the power to heal itself, okay? And the reason why I'm suggesting it so much is because it's free. It's a free app, and it's giving you an outlet to the energies that your body requires so that your body has the power to heal itself, right? Your body is the healer. Radiate's not the healer. I'm not the healer, right? Your body is the healer because it's getting all of the energy it needs to recover. And all that is think of Radiate as an electrical outlet, right? And seeing your own Kundalini, seeing your own etheric nature as the plug-in, and you're plugging it into Radiate. Radiate's just being the electrical outlet here, right? It's a subtle energy electrical outlet, and you're just plugging your energy right into it, okay? Or again, we can see it as wireless transmission. Wireless transmission representing the universal subtle energies that your body requires so that your body has the power to heal itself, right? That's one of the things that you can do. Radiate's available for you. Again, if you don't have an iPhone, then that's fine. We're going to have it on Google Play here in the next couple of days, okay? So guys, use it. It's an outlet, right? It's no more different than taking an electrical outlet and plugging in your energetic cord to it so that it starts to work together with you, and it will help you, okay? Not only does Radiate help out with you, it helps out with your environment, okay? When you're using the free version, it basically spreads out about a couple hundred meters all around you, and it's harmonizing your environment at the same time, okay? There's a lot of research capability that we can do with Radiate, and we're going to be getting into that. I'm going to be doing some tests myself, but I also have, again, I have a second Radiate center that is opening up by a person who has applied for commercial application, and that's in Cambodia, and they're doctors. And I know they're probably going to be doing some research on it. So it's very, very exciting. Okay, guys, stop coping with your pain. Work with it, heal it, harmonize it. You have the power, even if you're not using Radiate. Work with the power within yourself. Work within the healing energy within yourself. Stop coping with what you are suffering with, right? Rather than coping, oh, I got this and all this is happening to me. Okay, what are you doing about it? Oh, nothing. Well, then that's why it's going to get worse. We need to really kind of put our energy where our mouth is and start working with this. And guys, I have all kinds of videos on my playlist that can help you with that, meditations that can help you with that, practices that can help you with that. It's all there, right? There's a lot of stuff here just on my channel alone that can help you out with that. Do not feel like you have to put up with it, okay? Don't feel like you have to cope and just feel like you have to suffer. I'm trying to help you guys to get out of all that, but I can only do so much. You have to open the door and walk through it, okay? All right, let's go to Donna here. Donna says, good morning, Brad. What do the tarot cards say about the root canal procedures? I had to shudder there for a minute, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Many holistic natural practitioners say do not have them. Most dentists say that they're safe. Thank you. They are one of the worst things that you could ever do to yourself. Okay. They are absolutely horrible. I actually had one when I was a teenager. Of course, this is going back about, I think I was about 14, 15 when that happened. So probably about 30 years. Certainly wasn't following the path that I was now. But I had one, and it was the most excruciating, horrible, revolting experience I think I've ever felt. It is one of the worst things that you can do for your body. It will breed infections. It not only does it damage your energy body as well too. I've had to do a lot of work on healing the dental aspect pertaining to that, because I had a root canal, the upper top teeth close to a molar, right? When I was just a young kid, because I used to eat so much candy and garbage and junk food and all that stuff like that, right? And so that really impacted me, and I had to have a root canal. And I came in not knowing what to expect, and it's basically they're just trying to stab and kill a nerve, right? And they're just leaving so much room for infections. If you get a root canal, it's not going to be uncommon for you to have infection problems. It's going to be a major problem for you to basically deal with your energetic system. Your energetic system is going to be out of whack. There's all kinds of detrimental problems that a root canal has. I've actually looked into this with the tarot before, so I don't really need to look it up again. It's detrimental. It's very, very bad. Okay. The good news is we can heal it up. But if a dentist is telling you to have root canal, well, you have to basically make your own decision here. From my own perspective, I would never, ever touch a root canal again for as long as I live. It's terrible. Okay. Even Brienne was considering getting a root canal. Like, hun, no. That'll be one of the worst mistakes of your life if you get a root canal. It is terrible. It is horrible. You do not need it. Like I said, if you know how to work together with subtle energies, you can repair that, right? All it is basically that there's a lot of toxicity. Sometimes it can deal with metals. Sometimes it can deal with viruses, bacterial infections, and so forth. But if you can work together, again, something like Radiate, right? That can help you with clearing that out, right? Especially as I have on the etherics.co website, if you go to free samples, I have what's known as concentrators, okay? Now, concentrators just by themselves actually work good because they radiate scalar. Okay, that shape, geometry that you see made out of a concentrator is, again, an anchor for scalar energy. And what is scalar? Source center vibration. Okay, scalar is the pulse. It is the action. It is the action at a distance. It is the longitudinal rarefaction, compression, action at a distance relating to the source center vibration. Okay, it's the action component of it. And that's what you're putting into yourself. That's what's going to heal everything up real big, real fast, because that's how powerful your body is, right? Dentists will tell you that, and they'll say, oh, yeah, it's safe. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. Guys, they think drinking fluoride is safe. Okay, so how intelligent a lot of these dentists are. Oh, drinking fluoride is completely safe. Wink, wink, wink. Come on, really? Do you know what a lot of these other doctors will tell you? They'll also tell you it's okay to swish bleach in your mouth. Like if you get something like Javex bleach and then just start swishing around your mouth, hey, you're going to make your teeth really white. Are you a complete idiot? Swishing bleach in your mouth. There you go, guys. I rest my case. People who think that it's okay to swish bleach in your mouth to whiten your teeth. People that are telling you it's okay to drink fluoride. People thinking it's okay to have a root canal while you're getting all of these infections and problems with yourself that can basically impact your organs, that can hurt your glands, that can affect your bodily systems, that affect your energy systems. It's madness. It's insanity. If you don't believe me, go check in with yourself. You don't have to believe me, okay? I'm only giving you something that's my own perspective here. It's madness. It's insanity. It's crazy. Let's drink bleach. Swish your bleach in your mouth. Make your teeth whiter. Idiocy. Drink a bunch of fluoride. It'll make your teeth feel good. It'll build back enamel. Idiocy. Get a root canal and all that stuff, and it'll take care of your teeth. Idiocy. Right? This is what I'm talking about, is Neanderthal science. This is just, it's terrible. Okay, Bill, you got a bad back pain problem. Here, I'll pick you up to a 100-foot cliff, and now I just want you to jump off. What? You'll fix your back as soon as you land. That would basically be the same kind of nomenclature that they would offer you. All right? Just go up to the top of that 100-foot cliff. You got a really bad sore back. Go jump off. And you land. Hey, your back will feel better. Yeah, but you'll be dead. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is Neanderthal bullshit science. There's no science in this stuff. Getting people to drink fluoride, swishing bleach in your mouth, using root canals to try and solve a problem. It's like trying to put out a fire by burning down another building. Do you see the idiocy? Am I the only one who sees this? I hope not. Okay, and that's where you got to check inside yourself. This is lunacy. It's madness to the greatest degree. This is what we've had to put up with for decades. People who call themselves doctors. It's bullshit. Right? It's madness. It's insanity. Right? You're probably better off getting nanotechnology in yourself than having to listen to some of these people. It's insanity how these people are. They're completely out of their minds. They're completely insane to think that they're buying this crap. Go up to the top of the cliff, 100 feet, about 100-foot drop, crack your back, no problem. Yeah, well, you're dead. Right? That's how stupid this is. It's unbelievable stupidity. And I'm just giving my perspective, guys. You have to see this for yourself. But this, again, is what I've heard. And when I was hearing about this stuff, about what they're doing, what they're telling people to do, makes you sick. It's unbelievable. This is intelligence. This is more than just being children. This is being a toddler, right? Unbelievable. Anyways, let's move on. So that's my perspective on the whole root canal situation, Donna. Okay. Again, you have to make up your own mind, but like I said, look into your heart, discern before you make any decision, and that's what I can share about that. Okay. All right. Okay, this is a question about the torus bed kits. So we do want to kind of keep it to turn up to current events, but just to ask a quick question: original torus bed kits keep working the same as before? Yes. There's a short answer to it. Okay. Short answer: yes. All right, let's move on. Okay. Okay, someone says I'm cutting in and out. Okay, well, it's not really something I can control, guys. Okay, I'm basically just broadcasting as well as I can. If it's a problem, then it's something I can't really control. So hope you guys are receiving me okay. Okay. Okay, here's one from Sean. Sean says, hi, Brad. I'm a Canadian living in Southern Europe. Lots of chemtrails recently. Can you provide an update on the current state of chemtrails? Much appreciated. Yes, we can look into that. Look into chemtrails. Now, they're basically getting into a campaign to basically bombard a lot of chemtrails, and I'm talking about the dirty ones, okay? They're basically trying to do that. They're creating this campaign, especially during the eclipse, right, where there was a lot of chemtrails. Like on the day of the eclipse, I've seen videos of people just filming the sky and seeing all these webs of chemtrails all around. Well, those are not the good ones, right? They're basically just trying to initiate war. That's all they're doing. If you guys have tuned into the new Infinite Intelligence report, when I was communicating with the Consortium of Infinite Intelligence, you're basically getting an idea of what is trying to happen and what will be averted in that way. I don't want to spoil it for you. Go check out the Infinite Intelligence report on my YouTube channel. It's one of my newest videos, okay? And it'll bring you right up to speed about things, right? So there is certainly intervention that is going to be involved, okay? All right, so let's take a look here at chemtrails. Can we provide an update on the current state of chemtrails, about what the whole agenda is behind the chemtrails right now? Okay, let's take a look. You see, the tarot has always given me something positive to look at pertaining to the chemtrails. Okay, so this, of course, is not so positive, but this is representing the chemtrail agenda. It means it's dying. It's dying out, right? There's a desperation that's coming together, And they do this because they're just trying to spray areas because they are sick and tired of people being awakened, right? And what they're doing is they're trying to dumb down the populations. They're trying to, again, put this poisons all around the entire areas, and they're just trying to dumb down more people, right? They're trying to get out the last little bits of a lot of the factories that they have. They don't have the amount of factories that they used to have. A lot of them have been infiltrated and shut down. That's the good news, right? So a lot of these old chemtrail factories or installations, so to speak, have basically been founded out, and a majority of them are actually shutting down. That's the good news. That's what I'm getting here, okay? There's been action taken. There's been fire, right? There's been the idea of incredible action taking place to knock the entire chemtrail agenda down. As I've also talked about, that they're also looking to make brand new types of chemtrails that are not really chemtrails. I basically refer to them as cleanup trails, right? And that's basically what's being shown here to me here, is that there is a lot of work in actually being able to help the sky recover itself by, again, spraying something else. And it may be something that may have monoatomic elements to it, or again, perhaps something like sea salt or something like that. But basically being able to create some type of concoction that looks like a chemtrail but isn't, okay? It's more of a cleanup trail. So there's something like that. And this is what's happening right now as well too, is saying that they are on their last legs and it's all going to bust down because, again, the entire chemtrail situation is on its last legs. But they're taking what little reserves they have left of chemtrails and they're spraying certain targeted areas. Maybe because they may plan to do some psyops there. They may plan to do some false flags in those particular areas. But they've always used chemtrails as a means, as number one, trying to prevent a lot of the goodness from the sun's radiation to coming upon there. They're basically creating a film, and they're trying to block out a lot of the natural goodness that comes from our sun, through our atmosphere, through our sky. They're trying to basically create like an aluminum sheet, because, right, aluminum oxide is very much a very big part of the old-fashioned chemtrails. And they're basically trying to create this sheet. And that's why, again, if you notice that these old dirty chemtrails would come up and they'd start spraying the sky, it's a warm day outside and all of a sudden everything feels cold, right? You feel very, very cold through the chemtrails. And that's part of the aluminum oxide that they're using. They're basically trying to make like a cooking sheet, and they're trying to prevent a lot of these helpful, beneficial rays of the sun being blocked out, right? It's their block. It's like putting sunblock on the sky. But there's also, again, a lot of other lethal chemicals that are also dumbing down the population. There's metals that are coming out of that. So again, it's a lethal spray. It really is. The near future, like I said, I feel like this whole chemtrail situation is going to be torn down. Okay, it feels like there's still some factories. There may still be some installations left, but nowhere near as much as there used to be. Okay. But basically, this is the whole idea, is that people are starting to awaken, right? But they're trying to keep people dumbed down by spraying these chemtrails to try and keep them confined, to try and keep them, again, moody, numb in that way. It's like spraying pharmaceuticals in the sky. And again, this is what they've been trying to do through an entire worldwide agenda. But like I said, I feel like this is going to be cracking down. I feel like this whole situation is going to be falling down very soon. But they're basically stepping everything up, especially with the astrological alignments moving into May and into June, that there's a lot of heating up coming together. And they're basically trying to contain a fire. And the people are lighting that fire. It's like a gigantic torch, or a bonfire, we could say. And there's bonfires being built all over the world, and they're basically trying to spray those down, right? So it's all an agenda to try and keep people completely disprivileged, or completely out of the commitment to continue to support those bonfires, trying to numb people, right? Zombify them in many different ways. Again, confine them here, basically keeping people at bay. But it's not going to work. Again, like I said, they only have so much resources. And like I said, they're just trying to put a lid on Pandora's box. Pandora's box has exploded open, and they're trying to take these lids and they're trying to put them on. It doesn't matter what they do. The lids just keep blowing off, right? So you can't close Pandora's box when it's open. Pandora's box has already been open. It's spewing out all this light. People are waking up by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, and even by the millions. And they want to try and put a lid on that. And they try to use chemtrails to basically dumb down the population. We'll spray you with pharmaceutical drugs. We'll spray you with aluminum. We'll spray you with all these toxins. We'll block out the sun if we have to, blah, blah, blah. That was Bill Gates's intention, was to basically create something that would basically create a shield, like a tinted window across the earth to block out the sun. Do you see how these people are psychopaths? They are completely psychotic. Oh, we're going to try and block out the earth, block out the sun from the earth. Yeah, do you want everything to die? And basically they would say yes. It's basically what they want, guys. They have been trying for decades to try to kill off 90% of the population of this planet. Okay? And that will never happen, but they're trying. They're trying, they're trying, they're trying. They want their own world. This is the idea of complete and total ego, trying to rewrite the world in their own image. And this is a psychopathic tendency. This, again, is people who are devil worshippers. These are people in that sense who are psychotic, doesn't even begin to describe them. Okay? They are completely relentless and will basically want to lose the majority of the world before they give up their power. Okay? And that's why basically they're being hunted down and taken out. And we have task forces. We have task forces on Earth and we have task forces off Earth. And they are blending together and they're basically hunting down. There's been talk about these laboratories that have come together in different areas of the planet that basically were creating abominable chimeras, clones, and so forth. You guys know what chimeras are. Okay, they're hybrids, half animal, half human. Okay, they were basically trying to create chimera armies. They were trying to create clone armies. They're basically trying to create like zombie armies. There is no extent to the insanity that these things can do because they're not human. The ones that are basically engineering these plans are not even human at all. There's nothing human about them. They have completely lost their humanity. And the good news, like I said, is a lot of that is being taken down. There is no stopping the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening is inevitable. There is no stopping the people taking back their power. The people taking back their power is inevitable. And that's what they're scared of. They will fire up CERN. They will use chemtrails. They will try to build chimera armies. They will try to create false flags. They will try to create drama and soap operas with Iran attacking Israel and all that stuff, which again is more melodrama, saying that there are certainly battles taking place behind the scenes, but nothing that would incorporate a WW3. But they've been trying like hell to get that going, especially since about the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, okay? But they've never been allowed to. As soon as they dropped the atomic bomb, everything that they wanted after that fell apart, right? So there's been so much of an intervention taking place from galactic forces, universal forces, cosmic forces, that is so large, they are not able to overcome it. They think they can. They can't. Because what they can do is so incredibly limited because they have to stick with the material plane. What these universal forces are is they work with all planes and you cannot oppose them. And basically in that sense, they cannot fight these. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent us from making contact with those things. If they can't fight those forces, then they'll basically try and utilize everything against humanity to preventing us from being able to make contact with them. But now the fire burns. Pandora's box's light is shining so brightly you cannot put a lid on that. Right? So they've been trying to use chemtrails and all these other different things to try and put a lid on things, but they will always blow off. It's too late for them. And I've said this quite a few times already. It's too late for those corrupt forces. They're done. They're finished. They're having their spaz attack right now. They're spazzing out. They're flipping out. They realize they're losing. They're realizing they're losing all forms of resources. They're losing their leaders. And they're basically just gathering together like rats, right? Just trying to cause as much chaos before they die out. And basically, I would say that around the end of the decade, we can probably see a majority of that corruption dying out altogether. They basically have maybe about 5 or 6 more years to live. After that, they're done. Okay. So like I said, we just keep track. We keep updating. We look at these things and see how things turn out. Okay. So thank you, Sean, for your question. We're going to take one more question, guys, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. So I'm going to kind of look for a good one here, I think, to end on. something that's good for a lot of people to hear. Okay. Let me look at Alina's question here. Alina says, Brad, as is have not been enough with the argument and fight between people about everything like racism, gender, nationality. Now they are arguing over who has a soul or is backdrop. Can you look into this? Well, this has been something that's been going around for a very long time, Alina. This is not new, okay? What's new is that people are being aware of it, right? This goes back centuries. This goes back centuries about people questioning if they have a soul, if there's some sort of doppelgangers that are coming together, if there's a backdrop in that sense, if there's, again, nowadays it's referred to as NPCs, non-playable characters. It's referred to as backdrop people, background people. Do those exist? Elena, I've already looked into this. They do, okay? There certainly are backdrop people. There certainly are what we commonly refer to as NPCs. They are here on the planet. We actually see that quite a bit. People who completely feel out of place, like they just don't belong in a scene, right? Where they just feel like they're just acting in very, very strange behavior, and they really can't even answer simple questions, right? If it's, especially if it's something existential, they can't answer that. What is that? Huh? What's that? Etc. And it just feels like you're talking to a robot. Now, again, I haven't really given the best condolences to the idea of an NPC term, a non-playable character, but they use that in video game terminology. And that's basically saying that you're your own character, and these NPCs only have so much information. They're assigned to a certain task, and if you try to talk to them about other things, they will not compute, okay? And in a way that's true, but that also comes through traditional programming, which means human beings can act like NPCs, okay? It's what we refer to them as normies. It's because they are so incredibly programmed. They will do everything that their own program tells them to do, and they will know of nothing else. And there are others in that sense that are basically holographic. They are basically holographic apparitions created through the manifestations of the earth to represent a certain scene to a subject. Okay, Adronis has talked about this quite extensively as well too, about background people, about backdrop people in that sense, is that a lot of them are holographic, right? Especially if you're in like the big metropolis centers of the planet and you're just walking down the street, you'll see a lot of holograms, okay? A lot of holograms, a lot of, again, quote unquote, NPCs that just don't feel like they belong. But this, again, has been something that's been going back for centuries. Not too much with those terms, but just feeling if people are real or not, right? We had a video not too long ago of a woman on a plane who basically wanted to get off because she was freaking out. And she would basically turn to everybody and say, that MFer back there is not real, okay? And this has actually been happening quite a bit, is that people will actually start to see others glitch. They will start to see others in that sense change a different form. Some of them may actually look reptilian. Some of them, again, would just start to glitch, right? They're just glitches, like holographic glitching in that way. A friend of mine too, when I was doing a retreat in Mount Shasta going back, I think 2019, and they encountered a Sasquatch right in the front of their Airbnb. And the Sasquatch, very huge, like well over 7 feet, started to glitch. As it started to glitch, it transformed into a bear, and then it started to glitch again and transform into a wolf, and then ran down the street. Okay, guys, there's so much that's happening on our planet that we just don't realize, right? And it's the same thing with a lot of people, right? Especially if you see a lot of people on TV who are hopelessly programmed. Some of them in that sense can actually be AI. Some of them can be, again, using that label, NPCs, because they're programmed in a certain way. Some of them can also be backdrop people. Some of them can be holographic. Some of them can be CGI. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world. And like I said, someone may ask, well, Brad, how can we prove that in that sense? I say, well, I don't know. I don't know if we have any technology that will be able to tell a human apart from a hologram, right? If we're able to look into certain mental technologies that are indicating exactly the growth of the brain, and then the synapses that are firing in the brain, and some that really can't fire up at all, who basically act like NPCs or backdrop people in that way, or background people. So there's a big discussion in all this, right? and saying about people arguing who has a soul and who doesn't in that sense. Well, the soul is really responsible for everything that relates to life. Okay. But again, we have certain aspects pertaining to life that, again, doesn't feel like it's in place. And again, that is also deliberate, because we're attempting to look at what we are, how we're experiencing life, what life is all about, what kind of people are here, right? Something that takes us out of our element so that we can look at that from a higher perspective, right? These are all intentional. So again, it's a big conversation. But yeah, there's arguments like that have been happening for a very, very long time, going back centuries. It just evolves into more modern talk about NPCs, backdrop people, background people, holograms, right? Looking into, again, incognito extraterrestrials, so forth. Adronis has talked about that quite extensively. There's a lot going on. I'd say just look at the higher perspective of things. Why am I looking into these things? Why are these things coming to me? See what the heart tells you about that, because it's all about shifting into a higher perspective. All right. Elena, thank you very much for your question. Thank you, everybody, today. We're out of time for the signpost today. I hope you enjoyed everything we shared. Again, I'll be back next week on Wednesday for wisdom transmissions. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, this Sunday, I will be doing Etherics live stream. Okay, Etherics live stream will be on here. It will both be on YouTube, and it will also be on Rumble, the Etherics live stream, because I got some important information about the Radiate updates. And again, I'll be doing a couple of giveaways of some digital products as well, too. So again, feel free to tune into that this Sunday, and it's going to be happening at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So 10 a.m. Pacific this Sunday. It will be on the Etherics YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I can put the Etherics YouTube channel here, also on the Wisdom Transmissions channel, and here on Rumble. So I'll see how that works all together as I'm using StreamYard.com for broadcasting this. So thank you, guys. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll speak to you on Sunday. Otherwise, next week. Blessings to you all. Take care. May it be well with you, and talk to you next time.